Now, a question that comes is, what if you want to store additional attributes about a user, like their location, their height, their weight? We can easily do that with Auth0. So once again, to save time, I'm going to create another button here. Change the label to update profile and call update profile method in our component. And then in the component, I'm going to declare update profile. So here, we need to call one of the RESTful APIs of Auth0 to update a user's profile, and then we can store additional attributes. As you learned in my Beginner's Angular course, we can use HTTP service to call RESTful APIs. But when using Auth0, we need to pass our JSON Web Token in the request header. And if you want to do that with HTTP service, you have to do a bit of extra work because we need to add a special attribute in the request header. There is an easier way to do this. So first we go on the top. Instead of importing HTTP service from Angular, we import auth HTTP from Angular2-JWT. So this class, this service, has the exact same interface as HTTP service in Angular, but it knows about the existence of a JSON Web Token in local storage. So it goes into local storage, grabs the JSON Web Token, and adds it in the request header. Now we need to inject this in the constructor for our class. So private auth HTTP. And then in update profile, we call this .auth HTTP. Look, here we have methods like delete, get, head, options, patch, post, put, exactly like the HTTP service in Angular. Now here we're going to use the patch method because we don't want to overwrite the entire user object. We want to apply partial modifications. Now the first argument to this method is the URL of our endpoint. So I'm going to declare URL and set it to HTTPS. Now here we need to add the domain we registered when signing up on Auth0. So if you recall, we used it once in our service. It's here. Now it's not a good practice to duplicate this in different places. It's better to store all these configuration settings like the domain or client ID here. It's better to store them in a separate TypeScript file and then reuse it in different places. But in this video, I'm going to ignore that. So here we add the domain, and here's the endpoint, /API/v2/users, so RESTful convention. And after that, we need to add the ID of the user, which is this .auth.userprofile.user_ID. So that's our endpoint. And we add the URL here. Now the second argument is the body of our request. So here I'm going to declare another variable, data, and pass it here. Inside this object, I'm going to add a key called user_metadata. So anything extra you want to store about a user should go here. Now here we can add, let's say, location, set it to Melbourne, and we can have many more attributes, but it doesn't really matter for this demo. Also, in a real-world application, you don't want to hard code this value here. Chances are you have a profile form, so the value of this property will come from an input field on the form. So this is our data. And then we need to subscribe to this observable. So response goes to. And for now, I just want to display the result in the console. So console.log response.json. Very simple implementation. In your application, you may want to display a successful message or display an error if the updates failed. Let's look at the result. So here I'm already logged in. I call update profile. Let's take a look at the console. Okay, this is the result. You can see now this user object has a property called user_metadata, and our location field is stored here.